What's going on, everybody, and welcome into the Week 18 DFS Studs edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up. I'm Ryan Williams. You can find me on Twitter at RyanAlexander_W, and I'm here to talk about the three DFS studs that you should be targeting for your Week 18 lineups, guys. This is the final regular season week of the season. And we still got there's still money to be made. We still got an opportunity here to take advantage. It's going to be a fun one, trying to comb through who's playing, who's not playing, who has something to play for, incentives, all that fun stuff. And so I'm here with three guys that I'm going to be using for my DFS lineups, the studs that I want to use on that main slate on Sunday. And I think that you should too. Guys, before we get into the plays, just wanted to thank everybody for rocking along with us here through the regular season, subscribing to the YouTube channel, the interactions on Twitter. Everything's been great. Guys who are rocking with us on the Monday Night Football show, getting your bets in on Sunday on the FanDuel Sportsbook. We appreciate all that, and we hope you guys continue to rock along with us here as we get into the playoffs, because we got some fun stuff planned for you guys, and you definitely don't want to miss out. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, interact with the videos, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so that you know when we go live, and we'll get after it. All right, let's get into these Week 18 plays. We got to start it off as we always do here on the DFS Studs edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up, and that's going to be at quarterback. We're going to go with Kyler Murray, who comes in at $8,400. That price tag just under Josh Allen, who is in a great matchup himself. But with Buffalo, the way that they kind of control things and just being near 17-point favorites against the Jets at home, maybe if they get up big, they might rest their starters. So we might not get a full allotment of Josh Allen, but I'm hoping we do because of one of the studs that I'll talk about later. But let's talk about Kyler here, who is in a competitive matchup, I believe, with the Seattle Seahawks. This is a guy who has he's had a rough season. He was looking like a favorite at the MVP at the beginning of the year, kind of got banged up, missed a couple games, actually missed a game against Seattle earlier on in the season. So we have a small sample size to detract from Kyler. But you're loving that the rushing has been there. I know that James Conner has missed the past couple of weeks, and that's kind of led to that. But 20% design rush attempts for Kyler the past 2 weeks per Pro Football Focus. We absolutely love the rushing upside that he offers. And even though it's a small sample size, you look at last year, what he was able to do against the Seattle Seahawks. This guy had 629 passing yards to go along with 5 passing touchdowns in 2 games versus this team, also adding a rushing score to go along with that too. We know that if Arizona wins here and the Rams lose to San Francisco, which they've done the past 5 games that they've played San Francisco, Arizona is looking at winning the NFC West. So a lot at stake here for Arizona. We love in Week 18 when we can play guys that have something to play for. I think we got that with Kyler and the Arizona Cardinals, so he's going to be my quarterback DFS stud for the week. Let's move on to the running back position, and we got to talk about the guy yet again, Jonathan Taylor. I feel like I've talked about this guy on the DFS studs here for the past couple of weeks, and I feel like rightfully so. He doesn't do much to let us down. He's coming in at well over, 10K price tag. It seems hefty compared to everybody else on the slate, but when we're looking at the state of the slate, Jonathan Taylor could put up the highest raw point score at the running back position. I know that we're going to have some value. We already have some with Samaje Perine, with Joe Mixon being on the COVID list. But even with a guy like Samaje Perine, he could get 20 points, and we'll feel good about that at his price tag. But what if Jonathan Taylor goes out here and absolutely explodes? There's a lot on the line here. First of all, let's talk about the MVP race. Running back hasn't won it since Adrian Peterson over a decade or so years ago, but hey, still could happen if Aaron Rodgers ends up resting or not playing the full amount of slate. We could have him be the 9th running back to hit the 2K mark. He needs 266 yards to do so. He needs 2 touchdowns to reach the 20 touchdown mark for a running back. So he could absolutely be in a prime spot here to absolutely blow up against against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that he just torched last year in the season finale. This guy went for 30 rushing attempts, 253 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. If he goes out and does that, I mean, he's going to be a guy that you're going to feel comfortable having paid that $10K price tag for. The Colts also need a win here, controlling their destiny here as well in the playoffs. So a win, even though it's 17-point favorites, a win here definitely means a lot to this team. So I'm going to load up Jonathan Taylor with confidence, and I hope you guys do so too, as he could be in line for a big game on Sunday. Last but not least, we got to talk about Stefon Diggs this week. He comes in at 7,700 on the FanDuel slate. We absolutely love targeting Stefon Diggs. If I'm not having Josh Allen exposure, I still feel confident in playing Stefon Diggs as a one-off because of what this guy has meant to this offense. Cole Beasley has been on the COVID list, and he came back, but he hasn't looked himself, as most of these guys who have been put on the COVID list have not been looking themselves when they come back. Emmanuel Sanders has been banged up, and Gabe Davis has filled in nicely, but Stefon Diggs still has a hold on this offense. You're looking at last week where this guy saw 4 end zone targets last week. We could be having a totally different narrative around Stefon Diggs coming into this week. Didn't convert one of those 4 end zone targets for a touchdown. Also led the week in air yards last week and has a 37% target share with this team. He is absolutely the catalyst that goes along with this team. And I know they're playing the Jets. They're huge home favorites. But like I always say with Josh Allen, this is not a team where the running backs, that you can bank on them getting them to a big lead. If they're up in a big lead in a big way, that's because Josh Allen is making things happen. Now, it could be like last week where he rushes in for the touchdowns and you could be tilting, but if Diggs has this big game, we could be looking for him to explode at only a $7,700 price tag. It just comes in so nicely to be able to build teams around. And then we're looking at incentives with Stefon Diggs as well. He has a yards incentive that I don't think that he'll get. Needs well over 200 yards to reach that, but he only needs 6 receptions to reach the 100 reception mark, and that gives him $650,000. You think that Stefon Diggs doesn't want that money to ring in the new year? I think Josh Allen will look to get him targeted very healthily here in this game, and I love just building around Stefon Diggs, who actually had his biggest game of the year against this New York Jets team a couple weeks back. So love getting Stefon Diggs here, and he's going to be my final DFS stud for Week 18. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for the DFS Studs edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up, and actually the regular season DFS Studs edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up, trying to figure out what we're going to be doing here for Studs edition as we get into the playoffs. But I promise you guys that we'll have some fun content for you around the DFS teams as we get into the playoffs and can build our lineups around. Again, appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us all season long here on YouTube, on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, what have you. Much appreciated, guys, and good luck to you on Week 18. Hopefully you can navigate the murky waters as we are doing this early in the week, so there could still be some haymakers to come as we build our lineups. But I feel confident in these 3 guys. You guys should too. Good luck in Week 18. Get this money, and we'll catch you next time. Ryan Williams signing off at RyanAlexander_W is where you can find me on Twitter. Peace.